This is Business Week Armenia, CivilNet's weekly business digest. Here are this week's top stories. The governments of Armenia and Iran have agreed to expand their long-standing gas for electricity swap deal and extend it until 2030. The new agreement signed last week requires Tehran to increase the volume of natural gas it delivers to Yerevan in exchange for electricity supplies that go from Armenia to Iran. Figures on how much more gas and electricity will be traded were not immediately made public. Last year, Armenia imported more than 350 million cubic meters of Iranian gas, and construction on a third overhead power line between the two countries is currently underway. The arrangement by which Armenia receives 1 cubic meter of Iranian natural gas in exchange for 3 kilowatt-hours of electricity dates back to the 2000s. Armenia imports all its fossil fuels but has a Soviet-era nuclear plant and a number of thermal power plants that produce more electricity than the country consumes. The extension of the agreement is a profitable deal for both countries, Armenia's infrastructure minister, Ganel Sanosyan, said at the signing ceremony last week. Despite the swap deal, the vast majority of Armenia's natural gas continues to come from Russia. Gazprom, Russia's state energy giant, holds a monopoly on Armenia's gas distribution network and sells gas to Armenia at prices far below international market value. A feasibility study on creating a large industrial park and special economic zone in Armenia's second city is expected to be completed by the end of the year. A complete feasibility study will be done by December. After that, the practical implementation phase of the project will commence, and we will make decisions on further steps, Deputy Economy Minister Narek Teryan said this week. The study is being done by Maritime and Transport Business Solutions, a leading Dutch consultancy specializing in freight transport. Late last year, the Armenian government put forward a proposal to set up a so-called dry port in Gyumri, a plan officials say could help unlock landlocked Armenia's economic potential. Earlier this year, CivilNet sat down with project lead Charles Malas to talk about the venture. Here's some of what he had to say.
The concept that I have proposed for Gyumri, it is effectively a dry port industrial park special economic zone. The cost and capex of this project is going to be somewhere just above $100 million.
You can find the rest of our conversation with Charles Malas about the Gyumri dry port project on civilnet.am. The government of Georgia has banned the re-export and transit of automobiles imported from the European Union and United States to Belarus and Russia, a move observers say may devastate Armenia's booming used car business. Tbilisi said earlier this month the ban was made in an effort to comply with sanctions imposed against Moscow by Brussels and Washington after Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine last year. The authorities said the ban will also apply to automobiles sent from Armenia to Russia via Georgia, the route used by practically all Armenian car dealers doing business in the world's most sanctioned country. That raises the prospect thousands of people in Armenia may soon lose out on their primary source of income. After the war in Ukraine began, most foreign automakers pulled out of Russia, allowing car traders from Armenia, Georgia, and other former Soviet countries to rush into the market. Before the ban, Armenian car dealers typically imported used or damaged cars from Europe or the United States via Georgia. They would then repair the cars in Armenia before re-exporting them to Russia, again through Georgia. While official numbers are difficult to come by, the Financial Times newspaper reported last month that car exports from Armenia to Russia grew by a staggering 22,000% last year, citing figures from the Trade Data Monitor database. And as always, please follow CivilNet for the latest news and independent reporting from our contributors on the ground in Armenia, Nagorno-Karabakh, and the region.